Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Zelda Speedruns for another race for Zelda 2 Randomizer's 2020 Standard Tournament. Doubleheader today, second of two races. Now we have Lightning versus jkoper in Losers Bracket Round 1. With me again on comms are Amazing Toaster and Angry Demon Noises. How are you guys holding up?
Even if I've turned into a toaster, I think I'm doing pretty well today.
I haven't turned into a toaster, so I'm also good.
Also, sorry. Pretty Amazing Ambrose. Sorry, we had Amazing Toaster on the previous race.
I feel like they're both used to it. Maybe. I'm with you.
I do feel passionately about cooking bread. You can then butter it. It's nice and crispy still. I mean, it's a great thing. I love toasters.
Hey, they told me earlier today that you can even run TMC Randomizer on a toaster. So, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've actually never played that randomizer, so maybe I'm not a toaster then.
It was a joke about like smart fridges and stuff. We're just like, all you have to do is emulate it, and you could probably play it on a toaster.
Yep. Alright, so we're running a little late. Cooper's having some technical issues, but we'll hopefully get started soon. In the meantime, I guess we might as well just chill and talk about something.
We've got plenty of toaster jokes.
Yeah, we do. Y'all saying in chat, I am burnt toast.
So yeah, to give just a little discussion about the actual players coming up, both Lightning and Koper have played a lot of Zelda 2 in their time. You have a little bit of a divergence here. Is jkoper is what I would kind of call a well-rounded player who plays a lot of different randomizers. Like, it's hard to think of anyone in the community, other than maybe myself, who plays just so many different randomized games as jkoper. Lightning's a little more specialized into this game. But, I mean, which side of that has the better end of it? Who can really say, right?
Chat saying that Trails and and me apparently and AA can both toast bread without a toaster.
I mean, there are toaster ovens, if that counts.
There's still toaster in the name. Also, thank you everyone for various pom-poms.
I am going to have to go with Fig for my favorite jam.
Man, first I was toaster, now we're bringing jam in. It's like the entire community is just transposing on each other.
It's pretty good, Desi.
I have Fig too often either. But alright, Light is getting readied up in the race room. ATM and Cricket are still in there.
I'm waiting for jkoper to say that they're ready. And
fair enough. Also, lol, I met a Pokemon Empress and I said Empress. Hey, both work, I think, Mew fan. Admittedly, Empress of Pokemon is an electric type, so that makes sense.
I mean, it is in the sense that it used to be. It got stopped at the Galar border, so no more Ampharos in this world.
You still get the dragon type on the Mega Evolution, though.
Yeah, that great, useful Mega Evolution. I was so happy to get more weaknesses.
Tisk.
Maybe it's better to be a toaster, actually.
Ampharos is better than Dovewolf, yeah. Alright, looks like Koper has gotten his tech issues hopefully sorted a bit, is now loading things up, and we should hopefully get going shortly. Is Cobra's screen looking kind of sketchy to anyone else? Okay, I'm going to
No,
scoot
that's
the
good,
cropping
that's
a bit, because that does look a little silly now. Make changes. Hopefully that look fixes it. Didn't realize it was quite that wonky. A Rodom toaster. I mean, I guess, yeah, Rodom do probably possess toasters.
I mean, would that be an electric toast type?
Okay. It's not so much the cropping as it is just the. Yeah, apparently, so Coper, part of the reason for the delay is Coper got a new computer just recently and is having a little bit of some technical issues. It's manageable, but we're probably going to have a slightly wonky stream for the next bit. And they should be going, though, now.
I have set them off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, timer started. I was not sure why that was not updating for a second. Yeah, it's capture card's a little wonky, so if that happens, so if things look a little wonky, we'll just live with it. At least it's Z2R, and not, a more recent game. In all seriousness, though, now that they're getting started, I'm gonna shut up track and let you guys have at it.
Sounds good.
Well, we start off with a pretty bland overworld screen, kind of naturally leads us into Saria. So I guess we're getting a spell before an item this time. But you do have to make some observation in this starting area where it's just, you really don't have many ways you're even allowed to go. And I saw a little bit of our favorite terrain type, swampland to the north. This might not be a very up-A friendly overworld.
And there's a jump spell.
Well, jump kind of has some ups and downs, well, literally because it makes you jump, but also because, like, if you find Mido, you can get the spell right away, or the downstab right away, but on the other hand, it doesn't really do much of anything for you otherwise. Like, it's mostly just worse than Fairy.
Pretty much.
And we see that Raru is right next door to Saria, so we're going to get two spells right off the bat. If this is Fairy, that would be pretty funny. Oh, it's Fairy!
There we go.
Yeah, jkoper really trying to show us the time difference of walking out of the town versus up-Aing when you're close to start. And mostly what he showed us is it's about the same.
That's what I saw.
It was a little faster from the first town, a little slower from the second town, and it came out to about the same.
Yep, they are neck and neck for now.
Yeah, and it doesn't really look like there are a lot of places to go. Maybe they can kind of hook around just walking east. If they have to use Death Mountain as a connector, that would be pretty remarkable. Well, no, they can just level up until they can cast Fairy and cross Saria, but Death Mountain as a connector is something I think we all want. Even those of us who can't admit it want it.
It would be pretty interesting.
Coper choosing to immediately take Parapa Cave as a connector, whereas Light confirmed it wasn't the fake Parapa Cave. I think it had a heart container in vanilla. and just moved on. Koper came out in this very unfriendly looking north of river area. There's not a lot about the area Koper's been spat into that I like, but it does look like after you suffer through all this swampland it opens up, so maybe this will be worth it.
We'll see. You back at the forest tile?
We find 2 palaces and a bridge. Those are some impressively adjacent palaces. Starting with 3 or 6, Koper not investigating further. And then GPs, so very lacking in value. Hey, there's the 3rd palace in the west. So just Palace Central over there. Well, on Light's End, he explores really the rest of the starting area and finds the town of Rudo for his treble. That's not going to be helpful for a while, possibly forever, depending on whether we ever see the trophy. But we do find another item cave here in the northeast of the western continent. While Koper, having pushed forward to a more buried area, finds a different item cave. So we'll see who gets the better end of this one. Probably not Light with the cross. Not that the child is really that valuable for Koper in this position anyway. Like, it's going to at least be until we find the raft that he's even able to use that. But you never know. It could come in handy.
Looks like Koper's venturing into P4. Or not.
Yeah, going into P4 here is a very interesting decision. I really don't know about this at all, but it's what Koper is going to go with, and we'll, I guess, see how it pays off.
And it looks like he's opting to find the boss first.
I apparently totally missed the raft on Light's side, but I guess he has it. Which is a pretty essential little find. But just being in some free overworld spot means it probably won't be too bad for Koper to find that when the time comes. Yeah, jkoper has quickly found the boss in 4. Thought about going back in looking more for the item and decided to take a different approach. I expect Koper's probably going to take that bridge. No, he's just going to up A and look around the starting area some more. I think this path will end up ultimately paying off for Koper. Should lead him down the same sort of routes that led to the raft. Well, on Light's side, this should funnel him toward that child jkoper has. Also, for anyone who's looking at this map and is a little concerned or confused at what you're seeing, this is something we're well familiar with in the Zelda 2 community. Dig Shake, the creator of this randomizer, really wants us all to enjoy this game, but he has just this one little limitation, that he is in the pocket of Big Swamp. They pay for the seeds. There's nothing to be done about it, you just gotta accept it. Like, I, for one, was at first taken aback. I never realized there was so much economic value in peddling the interest of the marshland lobby. I didn't even know there was a marshland lobby, but gaming can be educational too, and this is what I've learned.
Someone's got to bankroll everything. And there's Coper's Raft.
Yeah, and you see, here's a stylistic difference versus our last race in this doubleheader. Coper is walking out of Medicine Cave, which is pretty close to start, with only 1 life left to preserve his experience points. So Coper is, I think, going to put forth a little more effort than we saw in the previous seed to try to manage his levels and try to get a higher level to just kind of get an early edge. I mean, of course, having high levels can make you a lot more powerful, but, like, this is pretty scary from Coper's perspective, because you're below half health on your last life right now. And you die, you lose all the points, and all the time you lost protecting those points is just kind of baked into some time loss. So
he's playing really carefully.
Yeah, you gotta play carefully, which can just cost you more time. But, I mean, if this works out, you get the level, it can make a difference. Looks like Coper is going to choose to explore Saria as a connector, and I bet he's going to stop in for the life heal on his way through, which
would be a good idea.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and, yeah, just walking right back into the place you get the mirror. That's just total muscle memory there. Happens to the best of us. Ooh, this is fun on light side. We see a rock blocking a cave. That tells us for sure that at least one item is hammer blocked in the Western continent. Further increasing the value of our still unknown hammer. And is this actually the last item cave if you factor in the hammer-locked one that lights in right now? Picking up the first magic container of the match?
Pretty sure. Have we seen the raft time? I don't think so. Yep, trails confirmed. Is the last cave. Coper picking up down stab.
Yeah, downstab, for one, it'll make being married to his experience points a lot easier, because really nothing in the West can fight downstab Link at all. It lets him get another cast of Fairy, and it's just very helpful. Like, downstab is usually not required to beat Seeds. It can be, but it usually isn't. But it's just so nice to have. It saves just so much time in so many little ways.
Yeah, so they both opted to get it, which makes perfect sense.
So we also... Coper's learning that's where the other end of that bridge goes. At a minimum, he now knows he never has to go through that very obnoxious swamp path again.
Thank goodness for that.
But kind of the question here is, what does the seed want them to do? We haven't seen the other Death Mountain entrance, so Death Mountain as a connector could be the way to get to the raft tile. I think it's more likely that we're looking for boots. But with Fairy available, boots could easily be in one of the palaces, so we can have some messy situations on our hands. See, I feel like we've already seen every pass-through, because we saw the back of Fairy Cave, we've seen all of Parappa Cave, we've seen both sides of Jump Cave, we've seen both ends of Saria.
Looks like we got a bet for boots in P4.
Like, I guess we haven't totally confirmed that one of those grave tiles we've already seen is the other end of the Fairy Cave, but I would suspect it is. So the only connector I think we still have eligible is Death Mountain, which, if we have a Death Mountain as a required connector seed on our hands, that's going to be a gift to everyone.
Yeah, Lights found it.
Okay, none of the fun nonsense, just the basic. Trust you some marshland seed.
Yep. Looks like the swamp was necessary.
But let it be noted, there was a dream. I'm not entirely sure why jkoper isn't taking that raft tile to the east. I think he's found everything, right? I think that was Spell. Light's using this annoying text hack that changes what he says, so I had to catch it real fast there. But I think that was Spell.
It was Spell. Yeah, it was Spell. You got it. Upstab is for losers.
Hey. Upstab is great. I like upstab strats on Barba. I hope you all get a seed with like 50 King bots in Great Palace. That'll show you. Anyway, we're just kind of starting our dig of the east here. Should be a relatively comfy dive of the eastern continent.
As long as it's not like the west.
Yeah, like, we have Fairy, we have the Cross, we have decent levels, we have Downstab, like... things shouldn't go too badly. And having jump this early is somewhat nice, in the sense that if you find those P-bag areas that require jump to get the P-bag, you can pick them up. So if you're worried about experience, that's a way to just get a little bit of an extra experience lead. Yeah, Light's killing Lizalfos like he doesn't even care, and those red Lizalfos are worth 200 points, so every one of those that is unwise enough to put itself in Light's way is really just compounding his experience lead. And, you know, for how much more effort jkoper put into experience, the fact that Light has actually a somewhat considerable early experience lead is a notable fact in this race. Man, there are so many just extra lives sitting around this overworld. I don't even know that that's a super significant fact, but it is a fact.
It'll prevent a game over.
And Light has found the boots in one of our Eastern Palace cave, or Eastern Continent caves. Eastern Palace. So that's definitely going to greatly speed overworld navigation. It's going to make that Western Continent a lot less pesky. And there's probably an ocean tile somewhere, and they might want the item on it. Yeah, for now it looks like Koper's just going to follow in Light's footsteps, pick up the boots. Well, Light's kind of just looking for a way to work around the current sort of obstructions he's located in the overworld and see if he can make more progress in the seed. Learning that graveyards are Valley of Death encounters is just always great news. Graveyards where all the enemies spawn super close to you and the dangerous Valley of Death encounters does sound like a match made in heaven to me. So the spell will strengthen a shield. Yeah, that's actually reflect, because weird text doesn't make that spell or a shield. So that's a pretty significant find. Obviously, that's required to beat the game. We've already seen P4. So when you have reflect and you feel like you're in good shape for P4, and you still have a bunch of business left in the East, you're always kind of in the back of your mind wondering, like, when do I up A and just go back and take care of 4? We see 3-Eye Rock down there, more important information. Add 1 to the required item list.
There's a desert tile.
I'm pretty sure Karok has been attempted many times without reflect. Never been attempted successfully, but attempted many times. Koper's found Palace 1 as his first significant find of Maze Island. Looks like he's gonna dig for the other items in the maze before committing to 1. It makes a lot of sense. If one of these 2 items is the magic key, that's just a considerable time savings in 1, and even if not, it's just time neutral.
There it is! It's like you knew!
Yeah, I'm just using my randomizer sort of thinking of, well, where could things be that would make the order I do things relevant? The only thing that would really matter would be if the magic key's on this island, right? And, well, there you go. It mattered.
Yep, it looks like Light's gonna take P1 without the key, so that might give Koper an advantage once they get there.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even going to be that substantial because, like, at Magic 4, I know he can cast Fairy, and there's not many locked doors in 1. He might even just find some keys conveniently on the way anyway, but... Oh, Magic 5 even. Granted, that early Magic Key is also going to really benefit Koper's leveling strat, because I know Koper really likes to focus on just manipulating the gems as his leveling thing. So... he would have felt really pressured on that with how the cost of Fairy seems kind of bad this seed otherwise. But he's just going to be able to do all the magic key stuff he wants. Whereas Light's definitely going to be committed to the level as you go strategy with Magic 5 already in the bank. Of course, he's going to be leaving Palace 1 with 4-5-5, so he's probably not feeling too bad about his levels.
It's pretty easy P1. And he's found his way to Horsehead.
Yeah, and like he totally could manipulate or run around a little to get the last 331 experience, but I kind of don't expect him to do that. I think he's going to place the gem and move on. And that is, in fact, exactly what Light does. And that is our first gem of the match, though I don't think jkoper is going to be too far behind him in putting this gem in one.
And Light's gonna help us figure out what items in here.
Yeah, I do not believe jkoper has found, what was it, Old Kasuda with Reflect? jkoper's overworld route just led him to Maze Island faster, so that's kind of been a difference here. You know, for a minute I thought the room Coper was walking into his Horsehead and he was going to be at 949 experience, but sadly that comedy is averted. Well, Light's showing maybe the single slowest thing about not having the magic key, having to kill yourself on really weak enemies to cast Fairy again.
Oh, they made it to the item room at the same time.
Though obviously Light has already actually finished the palace.
Yep, and hopefully he sticks around and grabs that key before he leaves Maze Island.
Yeah, Light's gonna find the magic key. There's probably gonna be a bit of an eye roll. Like, if I'd just done this the other way around, I wouldn't have had to kill myself on that stupid Mew, but in the long run,
It's still
probably not the biggest deal.
Yeah. Still pretty net zero.
Also, I was going to throw out there, Coper's going to have attack 6 with 1 gem placed. jkoper has totally set up his experience game. He's getting attack 8 this seed. And I don't know that that's necessarily the greatest thing in the world, but I mean, he's getting attack 8 this seed. It's just going to happen.
We'll make quick work of the bosses. Alright, Coper's made it to Horsehead. Didn't take him too long. Couple turnarounds here and there.
Did Light find the second item on Maze Island before he left?
Yeah, it was just a pea bag.
Yeah, like, I knew it wasn't
But,
anything.
oh yeah, but yeah, he knows the item is gone now, so doesn't have to worry about that check. Dead end, but useful information at least.
That's a pretty quality road right there.
They both went through it.
I mean, how do you not go through that? Like,
Exactly.
I don't understand. So yeah, Koper ducking into this swamp encounter. It usually gives you a 500-point P bag, but not really the fastest place in the world map. Whereas Light has found a connector to a place I sure wouldn't want to be. You're trapped by a river devil to the south. There's a nothing to the north. It's not really the place that you want to be at all there.
I didn't see what spell he just got.
Yeah, the thing is called the River Devil. It's always been kind of weird because it doesn't have a huge obvious association with rivers, and it does look a lot more like a spider than a devil, but I didn't make this game.
Fair enough.
Light has found his way to New Kasuto, and in an act of incredibly rare generosity, the old woman decided that he did in fact deserve her help, so let's see what he's going to get here today. It's a heart container, which is mostly a whammy. Feels a little better than most heart containers, because it's a heart container showing you don't need to come back to New Kasuto, and it was the first one.
True.
And we get the fire spell. Now that's a little bit spicy. So we've already, I think, concluded fire's not paired with jump just from casting jump. Now, we're about to cast spell, and we'll probably swing our sword after casting it to see if spell's paired with fire. Fire paired with thunder would just be such a big deal this seed. You know, both for its own benefit and for just not being defined thunder.
A lot of good stuff in New Kasuto.
Yeah, we know that flute is strictly required. That also means our useless connector is now a good chunk less useless. And yeah, like, it's easy to rag a bit on how Koper hasn't quite gotten his capture fully tuned for NES games yet. But if we're all being honest, this looks way better than Zelda 2 looked on a CRT in the 90s. Or the 80s, rather.
Alright, so here's Naburu for light.
Okay, we've confirmed fire is paired with fairy as well, which is honestly very useful in a lot of ways. You can just kind of, if you get to high magic levels, which light is already working on pretty hard, you can kind of get spammy with fairy, and that just makes a lot of things both easy and fast. Good combination of attributes. And there's the thunder spell, so The only thing we're really worried about at this point is finding our friend, the item that's never difficult to find in Zelda 2, the glove. And yeah, there's the other end of that connector. Pretty complex eastern continent here.
They're buried somewhere.
So, like, what palaces are we still looking for? We're looking for 2, the other are 3 and 6, right?
Yep. We've seen everything else.
And for that matter, one of those is in the Valley of Death, and the other is 3-Eye Rocks. So, I guess really what Light's just looking for is probably the ocean tile, the desert tile, this cave, just the loose items, seeing if he can pull a glove. There's the trophy. I don't think the odds of that getting turned in are very high. I think we know it leads to either shield or life, and I just don't foresee Light making the decision to walk all the way to and through Rudo just for one of those spells. There's an ocean tile, so a lot of good stuff in this very difficult to reach northern area. There's the glove.
There it is. There it is.
So yeah, that's go mode for Light. He's considering up-Aing, maybe weighing the fact that he is seriously 48 points to level. Oh man, path encounters in the forest. You'd normally be happy to see that, but he's like, I just want to get 48 points, take my level, and then up-A. Now I'm just struggling through this swamp. Game's jerk. Guess those are the breaks sometimes, though.
We just do it for the shareholders.
Oh man, an enemy that probably would have dropped more than 30 points. Gives a red jar, which he immediately uses to nuke a Moa for a low roll of 30. It's really amazing how even very small amounts of experience can just troll you so hard when they're the one thing you want. And that's Light confirming for us. You cannot use the boots to walk around that boulder lock. So that's going to be a rather considerable inconvenience. But there's just nothing to be done about it other than take a connector of your choice and work from there.
The map definitely sucks.
The map is just generously challenging our runners to show their routing skills.
My guess is that the hammer's behind a palace somewhere.
I have a feeling we're not going to learn where the hammer is this seed. Just kind of my suspicion about how things are going to go. So yeah, it looks like Light's just going to go back to the Eastern continent. It makes a lot of sense because Great Palace is in the Great Western Palace Cluster. He's just going to clear all the palaces in the east first and then finish the game in that one small area.
Alright. Koper's about to get his glove.
Yep, and Koper is also not up Aang. He is more than 49 points to level, so I don't really know what he's looking for here. He has to know he's in hard go mode. There's no possible item he could need from this game state.
Okay, I think that fixed it. Alright, we're back on.
Yeah, just a minor technical hiccup there. I personally blame whoever your least favorite ISP is. But yeah, we see Light diving right into Palace 5. Not really the friendliest palace to do first, but in a lot of ways it's a really logical decision of one to do first, even ignoring overworld convenience, which is probably the real reason he's doing this one first. Because you're really likely to pick up some levels just looking for Guma, so your endgame level is maximized by doing the big palaces first. And we see Magos from the Drippers, which is very generous, but then they're only worth 100 experience, which isn't even that small of an amount, but I mean, that's a low roll for Magos. And yeah, Palace 5 Drippers rarely actually give you anything, just because there are so many sprites in P5 that usually you're sprite overloaded and they can't spawn enemies. It was kind of unusual he even got the one to spawn.
150.
And here's Guma. So obviously, Light's really hoping this guy's worth 500 or more points. It's probably going to be worth 301, and then he's going to have to make another one of those agonizing decisions. That's my expectation here.
Oh, man. Close.
Yeah, Guma doesn't tend to take it easy on runners. He hits really hard, he takes a lot of hits. It's kind of amazing, because he's in a lot of ways the best boss in the game, and he wasn't in the Japanese version.
I think it's the spiky head that's the worst.
But yeah, at this point, Light is approximately a Palace 5 ahead of jkoper, a little less than that. Koper does have an overall leveling advantage, but I don't think it's enough to offset this amount of gap. But it's still close enough that just the remainder of Palace exploration could easily flip things back around. Because, yeah, like, even if you're super worried about levels, like, what's the worst-case scenario for Light's end-game level? 5, 7, 8? That's still perfectly good. More likely, he's going to end up with a level like 6, 6, 8, which is even better. Oh, man, look at that.
Wow, that was quick.
So this was only P3, which might be the most likely palace to do this. You're still always happy to see that. Oh, and look at that! Maximum experience roll on the Rebo means nothing to Light. Will probably actually matter to Koper, given the way he's manipulating gems. Okay, Koper's on his last life. He just has to win against Guma here. If Koper takes a death to Guma, it's gonna put him really far behind.
He's playing it safe. Don't have it in the bag. There we go.
And Koper's going back for 105 points. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's 50 right there when he casts Jump. Gonna be disappointed it's only 50. But, this is how it goes. And, Koper kinda has to hope that Light runs into some unexpected roadblock, because this could easily get out of hand pretty quickly. Like, yeah, at this point, with this many gems left to place, the best thing for Koper to do probably would have been to go to place the gem and just instantly up A, skipping the gem animation and just burning the gem. It feels bad to do that, especially in a big palace like 5, but like, Light finished 2 palaces in the time Koper is playing with experience, and that's going to be really hard to come back from. Especially because, speaking of that up-Aing on a gym, Light, I guess, just doesn't even care about levels anymore. He just burned that gym. I guess he says 577's enough for me. And I believe him. 577 could be enough for him. Oh, it's not 577, it's 557. Not that it really makes a difference. Magic levels or whatever.
Yeah, we don't need the fairy because we got the key, so...
But yeah, and we also know all of the palaces in the west are in that same sort of small cluster that Light's heading towards, so he's a lot closer to finishing than his tracker probably makes it feel like. Because there's almost no overworld movement left for Light in this game, it's just running through palaces from here. Now, there is a little bit of a time save that Koper has baked in that isn't visibly obvious, which is he already knows the path to get to Karok. That's not worth the gap, but it is something, so it is worth keeping in mind.
true. Tanky Barba could spell some doom.
So yeah, Light clearing a jump Koper never explored. This is probably not going to lead him to Karok very quickly. I'm kind of a believer in taking falls early in 4 when you're looking for the boss. Just sort of the way that the Zelda 2 randomizer draws dungeons, that's pretty likely going to lead you where you want to go. And oh, look at that, jkoper. Oh no, he's taking Magic 4. He is done serving his experience. Magic 7's enough, I guess. Attack 7. Words. They're hard.
I knew what you meant. It's pretty much just a palace rush at this point.
Yeah, Light's taking all the wrong paths in 4. That is opening somewhat of a door to Koper. But he's got to step on the gas. Light finds the item in 4. He doesn't care. It's not a boss. He's got to go. I also really don't know. Both of them made this decision. I really don't know how I feel about doing the palace in the Valley of Death before the palace at 3 Rock, but they made the same call, so it didn't cost either of them time in the race, I guess.
We'll see how long it takes Koper to get through P2.
Yeah, Light's coming up on where Karok is. I think this was just about a full clear of P4 for him, but even though that's obviously going to be more time spent in P4 than Koper will have, it's now behind him, and he still has a lead, so Koper's going to need Light to have more sort of navigational difficulties in 6 and Great Palace. Which, at the very least, if you're hoping for your opponent to have navigational difficulties, those are the 2 palaces I would want to bet on. Yeah, Light cares so little about experience. He's just like, all these cutscenes need to get out of my way. I'm finishing this seed, and I'm finishing it now.
Okay.
Oh, Koper's torn up again! He's like, oh man, this is under 50 points, but he's going for it. He's like, whatever, dude. Burn in the gym.
He's bridging that palace gap pretty quick.
I felt his pain, though. Man, the Canadian whole room not being very kind to Light there. He hits a statue hoping for a red jar for some reason. Gets greeted with a friendly red iron knuckle that just decided it was going to be in every kind of inconvenient position it could imagine. And interestingly, Koper decides to do 6 before 4. I guess because he knows the straight shot to the boss in 4. He knows he's not going to be able to manipulate that gem. This gem is still possible for him. Or he just went to whichever one felt closer and he ended up in this one first. One of the two. Koper also choosing to jump over the Canadian hole instead of dive in. I don't know why we're avoiding drops, but both players, again, making the same decisions, so we'll see where it takes them. Judging from Light's side, it doesn't look like this path is short. But it does lead to Barba, so just given the size of 6 on average, I think Light would be... He'd take this pathing he ended up selecting any day of the week, and that was a beautiful jackhammer.
Quick work.
That...
Alright, no fear of tanky Barba at all.
Oh man, he's gonna up A this gym anyway, but I laugh at being 32 experience to level. Actually, come to think of it, is his next level Magic 6? I suspect it is, and like that matters because he can get a magic refill in GP by leveling. If GP ends up being bad.
It would be a good strat.
You know, honestly, that's probably one of his motivators in burning all those gems. He's like, this is a high enough level I can beat the game, and I honestly value the potential to refill my magic and GP more than I value more stats. But this GP so far is very linear, which bodes poorly for Koper. Here's our first fork in the road. Because at this point, to win this race, Koper's going to need to take a path Light doesn't, and for it to work out for him. And the more linear this GP is, and we're once again down to just one path, the more problematic that'll be. Here we see the upstab room that I guess we're going to see this clip strat. We're going to see it attempted, if nothing else. I'm just going to throw out there that the time this has taken is already longer than the time it would have taken to pick up upstab when walking through Darunia.
True. Alright, Koper's making his way through Barba. It's going to be a lot easier with an attack 7.
Also going to point out that I think jump costs 23 at Magic 5, so that's not something easy to try over and over. If Light's struggling with that strat, then this could actually be the opening jkoper needs. If Light continues to struggle with this clip. Koper's finishing 6 now, he knows the path in 4. Like, he doesn't need that big of an opening here to catch back up. I'll be perfectly honest, I have no idea how this works, so I don't know how close or far he is from getting it. But this is a real tense moment, because 100% the race hinges on Light's ability to get this. If he gets it fast, he still has a pretty good lead. A much smaller lead than he had, but still good enough he'll probably win the race. If he has to go pick up Upstab, this is jkoper's race to lose for sure.
jkoper made quick work.
Oh man, he also has to worry about this Bird Knight. Like, if the Bird Knight kills him and he's starting all over, he managed to get one of the block destructions. And he's up Aang, and his lead over Koper right now is about 15 seconds.
Yep. And that means it's anyone's game.
Yeah, Koper's at 777. Koper has Upstab. He's just going to do this very conventionally. Like, honestly, Koper's probably in the lead right now, just factoring in how many fewer hits T-Bird will take, right? Like, that's got to be worth the one room in GP Light's ahead.
It's all down to navigation now.
And, like, this is a wild outcome. I didn't expect this at all. You know, part of what makes this wild is, like, I can only assume this trick is really hard. I wouldn't know, but it looks really hard. But the crazy thing about it is, like, this doesn't come up often at all. Like, the way Short Great Palace, the flag, works, it removes rooms with exactly 2 entrances and exits. So this room that is the Upstab block is a really likely room to not even exist in Short GP. So for it to exist and just be an early hard roadblock in the palace, that's a rare event. You know, Koper using Upstab to kill that Bird Knight's kind of insult to injury that Light will probably never know about.
Oh. Please don't rewatch. jkoper really coming in from behind because of that Upstab.
And Koper's in the lead right now, but, I mean, you just saw Koper take a death there.
Yeah.
Like, this is not over. If Light just gets this quickly, there is enough room for him to either choose the right path or just outplay.
Oh.
That Bird Knight is, Koper's...
Oh, there we go! That works.
Fire being paired with Fairy helping Light out, too. And, yeah, we are in a classic race within GP. And, like, I know there's a little bit of discomfort, too, because there's no shield, no life. You cannot turn your magic into survival. You just have to play well, and Koper finds a just lovely-looking waffle room. Yeah, this room is terrible. Just getting hit a lot dealing with it. Koper gets through, but he loses nearly a full life. He has 1 life after this. He still has to fight T-Bird. Oh my word!
Oh. It might have to take a tactical death.
Like, I expect Koper's gonna try to get through this room. But yeah, like, Koper could easily game over in this GP, and Light still has 2 lives left. If Koper game overs, that switches things right back to Light's favor. Though this room is so awful that it's not really a guarantee Light gets through here unscathed, even with his incredible execution.
Yeah, Light's taken a decent amount of damage, but not as much.
Koper wisely using the greatest technique in the game, upstab, to save his life from that Kingbot. Light will basically not be able to avoid a hit when he goes through that room. But, you know, we've talked about Light's execution advantage, and I do think it's a real thing, but, like, let's not take away from the fact that just, like, look at how long Koper has survived. 1 hit from death. Like, look at him dancing around, all that lag and all those fires. Like, Koper is pretty amazing at this game in his own right. And he's fishing for this fairy here, which, it's like a 1 out of 7, but, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good idea to go for.
It feels bad to look for fairies in those connectors, because only one of them has it. The one that has it isn't even guaranteed to exist in short GP, but, like, I get it. I so get it. And they're about to be in the same room. They're about to both be on last life.
That room does not look fun. Not with that kind of life.
Because, yeah, there's just no way Koper's getting through here without getting hit. And,
oh, he tried.
There is a red jar in this room, so that could come into play. Honestly, they could easily both game over in this Great Palace. This is a really intense race. Like, this is a super unfriendly GP. Just bird knights and spicy chickens everywhere. Oh man, another just beautiful room Light's showing us. Would you like respawning fireballs from like 3 different directions and a blue bird knight just attacking you as you try to cross the crumble bridge?
Oh, here you go.
Light on a pixel of health. This is his last life. At this point, he's probably honestly hoping he finds a dead end so he can up A, but remember, if he has to up A, he has to do that upstab room again.
Oh, true. Oof.
Koper's been kicked
taking
back
the up A.
and Light's been kicked back to start.
Alright, we go again. Light's gonna have to make that maneuver. He'll probably just use the fairy method again.
Yeah, he only has to get one sort of like glitch block break out of it, I think. But I mean, it's like he has to get it fast because Koper is like half a room in front of him and has a shorter T-Bird fight ahead just by sheer virtue of attack 7.
They probably both think that at that death they're behind, and didn't realize.
I mean, I'm going to guess that both of them are probably... Like, they both know the other hasn't finished, and they both have enough evidence to know that this Great Palace is horrible. They probably both have the feeling that, you know, we're probably both slogging through Great Palace, who even knows what's happening. And, they're both right, if...
Exactly. All of it. What part of Great Palace do we not understand?
So, let's see how long it takes Light to repeat this block clip situation. This is really critical. If Light loses another 5 minutes here, like, Koper's gotta suspect, probably rightly, that going left at this three-way room is probably the path. I'd feel really vindicated seeing this drop here, too. And yeah, short GP removes between 25 to 50% of the rooms in Great Palace. In this case, I think it removed closer to 25%. And it also decided that you needed more bird nights in your life.
There we go, that was quick. Not bad.
Yeah, Koper chose not to take that drop. If we walk through the last drop room, so like, do we know that drop is wrong?
Aaron, did you count the other time?
Okay, here's our favorite fairy room. Well timed for jkoper, he's kind of low on life.
Oh, the other time is what I was way more interested in. This time was much faster. I believe in the other time, jkoper was able to finish 2 palaces.
Well, Light just found the extra life.
That is
actually
pretty helpful.
Totally honest with this, how rough this palace has been, that could be a good find.
That is a good find.
I mean, Koper could have cast Fairy to take that drop if he wanted to. That's usually what you do when you find that drop accompanied by a whole lot of garbage. But yeah, like, where did they even diverge? Because they don't really look like they're in the same place at all right now.
I don't think Koper took the left path. I think that's what it is.
Koper's found Thunderbirds, so I suspect Dark Link is, if not in the next room, very shortly thereafter. So this is a pretty strong lead for Koper here. He does have to do well in this Thunderbird fight, though, because he will die, I think, in one hit here. And there we go, clean T-Bird from jkoper. And, there's Darklink, one room away. Well, yeah, Light's definitely made it back into the more looping section of this. And, yeah, that was a huge comeback.
A crazy comeback.
And Jkoper has a life. Even if Dark Link gets him, it's not going to make a difference here. If anyone's tensing up about that. Yeah, Light's just made his way back to this just horrible Blue Bird Knight room. Probably thinks he just died right before T-Bird. Little does he know that that's just not the way things are. Oh man, you get the RNG red Bird Knight there. It could have been a red jar. That's just... and you die? Like, that's just frustrating. I'd be frustrated. I'm frustrated for Light.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's not having Upstab's fault, but that definitely didn't help.
I mean, with how long this has taken Light to find the right path in GP, it's entirely possible Jkoper would have won on GP routing, even if the upstab block didn't happen, but assuming Light sorts out his situation relatively quickly, which at this point I think he almost must, like, he's just kind of running through this loop. He has to recognize that he's looping and has to know that the only path he hasn't taken is the correct one, right?
We'd hope so.
But definitely the upstab situation, I mean, it made a huge difference.
It
That was
killed a lot of
minutes, right?
Light. Yeah, easily. It was enough time for Jkoper to finish, like, 2 palaces. I mean, he didn't know exactly the route he needed to take for P4, but still, it was 2 palaces in that time frame.
The crazy thing is, Light's probably going to have to up A again, so he's going to have to do that, or he could forfeit, but if he wanted to finish, he was going to have to do that upstab skip room a 3rd time. But yeah,
Man.
we're joined by jkoper. GG, jkoper.
Hey, thanks. Sorry, I am trying to figure out how to adjust my volume. Oh my god, that was loud.
You sound
Can you
fine,
hear me?
dude.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, hang on. I think I need to push the button. Now you can hear me, right?
Yes, we could hear you
Or
the
could
whole
you hear me
time.
before?
Yes,
Apparently my push to talk isn't on either way.
we can hear you, so
Oh.
it works.
With it, so we can get on with things, I think.
Okay, yeah, this is my first time using this new computer, so, trying to get used to everything here. I probably want to enable push to talk again.
So, yeah, that was a dramatic Great Palace from a viewer experience. So, I'm just going to let you know the big thing that happened.
I heard a little bit of what you were saying. It sounds like he didn't get upstab.
Yeah, he just chose not to get upstab. And, you know, it's not even that rare of a decision. He walked by it, you grabbed it, and then that one room was required. He was able to do the skip, but it took him so long that
You caught up.
catch up. And then the Great Palace after that was just awful. You both game overed, and I actually didn't catch if you up 8 or game overed, but if
I up an 8.
you were going to game over soon anyway, which is probably why you up 8.
Well, it made more sense to up an 8. I get my lives back, and it just navigating made more sense to up an 8, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, you found the way to Thunderbird shortly thereafter. It's not clear that was the entire difference, the upstab situation, because after you up 8 and he game overed, which was at about the same time, you went basically straight to T-Bird. He started on that path, but took a turn somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. He found the extra life, which you never found. And then he ended up back in that huge loop while you were just finishing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at multiple times in GP, the two of you were pretty much right at each other's throats, like neck and neck. And you just managed to find the right way through. That was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I'm mildly surprised that I was behind going into Great Palace, but it was a very friendly seed. Like, the routing just worked out pretty much perfectly for me, as far as I'm concerned. So,
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Koper. You were actually quite a bit behind. Like, he was, I think, at one point... Was there a point he was 3 palace clears up?
I'm pretty sure there was a point where he was 3 palace clears ahead.
No.
But
there
you
didn't know the way in 4, which was kind of
a
stocked advantage, but yeah.
I don't know.
Your routing made sense.
Did Lightning start doing palaces before they were in go mode, basically? All I did before go mode.
Both hit go mode in about the same way. Like, honestly, like, the experience game was the entire thing. Light burned like 3 or 4 gyms and just went super fast.
Yeah.
Whereas you ran around that had to be 2 minutes looking for 100 points, and just a ton of little stuff like that was just kind of killing you. But given what GP was, I doubt you were that unhappy to be 777.
I mean, it was fine. I don't think the magic level was really relevant, but the life and attack were nice to have. But yeah, for those asking in chat, this is definitely a friendly seed for sure. The item layout was very nice. The experience was nice. The GP required 1 correct turn, basically. But after that, it was really easy. So,
yeah, GP required 1 correct turn, but if you didn't make it, GP was a bird nest.
Yeah. But still, it could have been worse.
Yeah, there were some other critical points too. Like, you spent a lot less total time in 4, even though you double dipped, because your initial dip found Karok fairly quickly, and then you left. I'm pretty sure Light absolutely full cleared 4. He went every wrong way in 4 before finding Karok. That was actually the first big part of you catching up, was just the difference in Palace 4. And then Great Palace was the rest.
I don't know. I'm not gonna feel bad about how I played. Anytime you go into GP sub hour, I think that's pretty good. Even if the seed was just friendly in its item layout to allow that to happen. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think your routing was on point.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of really good moments too. Like, in the process of confirming that loop in GP, like, what'd you do? Like 10 consecutive rooms with a non-visible health meter just dancing around.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I guess the enemies were fairly friendly to allow that to happen. You could have argued that I shouldn't have taken the ferry at the end. That could have ended up making a difference. Like, there was a pretty good chance that I was pretty close to the end of the GP, and having 3 lives wouldn't have mattered much. But I just decided to play it safe there at the end. I don't know. You know, the experience farming took a little bit of time, but it wasn't bad. I knew there was a Mago Dripper upstairs, and if I killed one Mago, that would have been enough. But the Magos wouldn't spawn because of the stupid Moas dropping fire. So yeah. I don't think that any of my grinding was excessive. I burned the one gem, and that was good. I kind of intended when I burned that gem to take the experience from it, but you have to let the experience start counting. I didn't do that. Yeah. I don't know. I just
But yeah, it was a pretty exciting race all around. I mean, it's mostly just a heart-pounding race, because that GP, from a viewership perspective, that was wild to watch.
It was definitely really fun to watch.
That good. I'm glad that everyone could enjoy the race.
Yeah, you clinched a really good victory.
Yeah, I don't know how bad my capture was, how difficult my stream was to watch. It's pretty frustrating that, I got this all set up on my new computer today, and I have the exact same issue on my new computer that I had on my old computer. Not that my new computer is going to be better in other ways, but just the jumpy picture.
Yeah, it only looks bad right now, but
the commentary stream, but it looks like watching Zelda 2 on a relatively good CRT.
Yeah, like you could, if you really paid attention, you could notice like it jumps every now and then, but like we never really noticed.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's like every few seconds it does this jumping thing. So yeah,
like during gameplay, it's like not even noticeable. It doesn't change anything.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. I guess it's still something that I think I want to try to fix before my next race. But yeah. Anyway, I don't see it. Lightning offering any comments in chat right now. I pulled it up, but don't see anything from them. But GG. Who's up next?
All right, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Coper. Yeah, looks like we're wrapping up now. Your next opponent will be Thierwolf in Losers Bracket Round 2.
Oh yeah, they're both very strong Z2R player, so that'll be interesting. I've watched some of his races recently. It doesn't look quite as strong as before. Maybe a little rusty, but he's very good. So I'm not taking it lightly for sure.
Yeah, it should be a very good match. Looking forward to seeing that one. Chat, do you have any final questions here for Coper, or any questions from comms as we start to wrap this up? Because if not, we're going to wrap it up for the night. This was the final Zelda speedrun stream for the night. Second of a double header of Z2R here. So this is it for tonight. We have 4 races tomorrow here on Zelda Speedruns. We have a Wind Waker. So we have, tonight I guess technically there is one final match. I forget. Wind Waker Swirlock Tournament Group B CS versus Jack-O-Lantern 29. I've decided to schedule a match starting in about 2 hours, starting on CSR main. I assume they're Europeans or something who have a better time zone than the US, because 2:50 a.m. Eastern really isn't great.
It'll be on this channel.
It will.
Anyone's up at 3 in the morning.
Have fun. And then later on tomorrow, at more reasonable times, we have a Ocarina of Time Randomizer co-op tournament. Semifinals Game 1 between Captain Tuna's Place, Raikaru and Wooden Barrel versus La Cure du Désert. Arthur's Houdini and Skyward will be facing off against each other. The first of the co-op tourney matches to be featured there. I am in fact with the organizers of that tournament, so that will be happening at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We have at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. 2 Breath of the Wild, any percent 20 tournament 20 winners bracket round 1 and winners bracket round 2 and losers bracket round 1 matches at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. And then we have the Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race at 9 p.m. tomorrow. We currently do not look to have any more Zelda 2 matches on the schedule, but we will keep it updated as we go. Might as well hear shoutouts to both of our runners, Light and to jkoper. Unfortunately, Light is out of this tournament because this was losers bracket. jkoper moves on to losers bracket round 2 to face off against Steerwolf. Wish him luck for that. Shoutouts to my to the commentators, Amazing Ampharos and Angry Demon Noises. Thank you for providing us entertainment with this doubleheader tonight. And that will be pretty much it for us tonight. If you want to tune in, if you guys are still awake in 2 hours, come tune in to Wind Waker Randomizer. But otherwise, we are going to go over Rid and Rage TGH, who is doing a Zelda 2 vanilla 100% all keys speedrun. So we'll go over see how he's doing, and that'll be a wrap for the night.